All right, let's jump right into this explainer of the laws of the sun. Today we're mapping out a seriously abstract, multidimensional spiritual cosmology. We're going to unpack the entire architecture of the universe exactly as it's presented in this fascinating source text with a laser focus on the ultimate pinnacle of enlightenment. If you've ever found yourself wondering how different spiritual dimensions stack up against one another, or what it actually means to reach the absolute highest levels of cosmic awareness, you are definitely going to love this breakdown.
Here's our trail map for today's intellectual ascent. We're going to breeze through the essence of enlightenment, look at the practical methods to attain it, and then things get really wild as we explore Avalokiteshvara's multidimensional awareness, the solar realm's awakening, and finally, Shakyamuni's incredible ninth-dimensional truth.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the essence of enlightenment.
So, let's start with the most fundamental concept the literature presents. What does it truly mean to reach the pinnacle of enlightenment? We usually picture enlightenment as this ultimate finish line, right? Like a ribbon you cross where suddenly, boom, everything and your spiritual work is just done. But the source text actually challenges this conventional view right out of the gate. It completely reframes how we should understand spiritual progression.
Here's the real game changer from the text. Enlightenment isn't a destination at all. It's an ongoing evolution. It's a continuous process that's actually measured by the volume of spiritual light a soul accumulates over time. The text explains that reaching for enlightenment is essentially the daily grit of repairing and refining your life. It's like polishing a mirror, aiming to elevate your spiritual nature, your inner Buddha nature, until your state of mind seamlessly fuses with the mind of the divine. And the greatest merit of this? It becomes an active, dynamic state of being that lifts up your everyday life, rather than just some static trophy collecting dust on a shelf.
To really drive home why this matters, the book uses this incredibly vivid analogy. Imagine a purely materialistic life, one that's totally caught up in the physical, two-dimensional constraints of the world. It's literally like wandering blindly, just groping around in the dark night. Sure, you might bump into some pleasure or you might stumble into conflict, but you have zero direction. Faith, on the other hand, acts as an illuminating lantern. It gives you this focused beam of light that brings absolute meaning and direction to your soul's journey.
And this perfectly illustrates the text's big assertion that the journey to finding that lantern begins by shedding earthly attachments. The text states incredibly emphatically that to know your true self, you first have to discard your false self. It all starts as with mind. It's about peeling back the ego, clearing out the mental clutter, and letting go of those superficial identities we cling to so desperately in the physical world. That's how you uncover the genuine, cosmic self hiding underneath.
Moving right along to Section 2, Methods to Attain Enlightenment.
So, if enlightenment is this continuous gathering of light, how do we actually pull that off? Well, the text outlines the early stages of the Eightfold Path as the foundational method for beginners, and it's meant to be practiced every single day. We're not talking about complex, esoteric, mystical rituals here. We're talking about rigorous, honest self-reflection. You start by learning to hold the right view and right thought, really examining your life without the sugarcoating. From there, you translate that into right action and right living. The text is pretty clear that sincerely practicing just these steps can take years of dedicated effort to truly master. Now, what's amazing about this pathway is where it leads. Mastering these specific, foundational steps is said to elevate a practitioner directly into the sixth-dimensional realm of light. By simply aligning your daily actions and thoughts with spiritual truth, you accumulate enough of that inner light to naturally harmonize with a much higher, sixth-dimensional reality.
Okay, Section 3, Avalokiteshvara's multidimensional awareness.
As our spiritual map ascends even higher, past that sixth dimension, the text introduces us to the realms of the seventh and eighth dimensions, the realms of bodhisattvas and tathagatas. Entities operating at this incredibly advanced bodhisattva level, like Avalokiteshvara, who you might know as Kanon or the goddess of mercy, possess what the text calls the six divine supernatural powers. These include heavenly vision, heavenly hearing, telepathy, knowledge of past lives, the power of divine transport, and the ability to exhaust all earthly suffering. I mean, talk about a major upgrade, right? These aren't just magic tricks. They represent a vast, multidimensional awareness of reality that just completely shatters normal human perception.
As we reach the eighth dimension, the Tathagata realm, the literature drops this profoundly esoteric philosophy on us to explain how advanced spiritual consciousness actually operates. One is many, many is one.
Think about it like this. Imagine you literally have 10,000 tasks to do today across the globe.
If an eighth-dimensional entity, a Tathagata, has 10,000 tasks to do, their single unified consciousness can actually split. It can manifest as 10,000 distinct individuals on Earth, all at the exact same time. Yet, despite being split into so many pieces, there is still just one singular unified consciousness orchestrating the whole shebang. It's an absolutely stunning way to visualize how divine will can operate on a massive planetary scale.
Up next, Section 4, the Solar Realm's Awakening.
Climbing even higher up our dimensional ladder, we hit what the text calls the solar realm. The book outlines that during ancient golden ages on Earth, it specifically references lost civilizations like Mu and Atlantis. Humanity had a completely different understanding of the sun. They recognized the sun's light energy as having this profound dual nature. On one hand, it was worshipped spiritually as the sacred glory of the divine, but on the other hand, it was actually harnessed as a highly functional scientific power. The text even describes giant pyramids acting as massive amplifiers for solar energy. It's a total blending of deep spiritual reverence with advanced scientific application.
And finally, Section 5, Shakyamuni's ninth dimensional truth.
We've reached the absolute pinnacle of this text's cosmology, the ninth dimension. Synthesizing our whole journey, we can see how the progression stacks up. We go from the sixth-dimensional mastery of the Eightfold Path, up through the seventh and eighth-dimensional bodhisattvas wielding supernatural awareness, all the way to the ninth dimension. And at this level, we are no longer talking about individual, human-like spirits at all. We are talking about massive cosmic energy bodies that are literally responsible for universal truth and creation itself.
At this ultimate ninth dimensional level, the text redefines Gautama Siddhartha's great enlightenment. Historically, we know him as Shakyamuni Buddha. But the text says he wasn't just a human who sat under a tree and meditated his way to inner peace. He is an incarnation of a colossal, unified body of light energy existing in the ninth dimension. Even upon passing away and leaving his physical human form, his core consciousness remains anchored out there as this massive cosmic entity. When he incarnated on Earth, it was literally just a tiny, microscopic fraction of this entity downloading into a physical body.
The source material makes a really bold theological claim here. It states that the core of this massive, ninth-dimensional soul group is a singular supreme entity named El Cantare. According to the text, this entity perfectly unites two massive aspects of the divine. First, you have the Amida aspect, representing infinite love, compassion, and salvation. Second, you have the Mahavairochana aspect, which completely embodies ultimate enlightenment and the deepest mysteries of the spirit universe.
According to the text, fully realizing this cosmic hierarchy completely shatters how you view yourself. It reveals that our genuine nature is not this small, fragile, physical body stuck in 3 dimensions. Instead, close your eyes and just imagine for a second. In profound states of ninth-dimensional enlightenment, you realize your spirit is actually an energy body, capable of expanding to the size of the universe itself, looking down upon the Earth from a place of infinite, boundless freedom.
And that brings us to the end of our climb. As we wrap up this explainer, mapping out a universe defined by a continuous, multidimensional evolution of light, we want to leave you with something to really chew on. Based on this intricate map of the soul, where do you honestly see your own consciousness currently residing? And more importantly, what is the next step for your own inner lantern? Keep polishing that light, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.